I'm Jason, the world is yours, and today we're taking a look at the Louder Than Life Music Festival 2023 lineup. Foo Fighters, Green Day, Pantera, Queens of the Stone Age, Rancid, and many, many more bands to play. Louder Than Life, the radio rock music festival that's been held in Louisville for almost a decade, has announced its 2023 lineup. Over 4 days in September, bands like Foo Fighters, Green Day, Tool, Avenged Sevenfold, Godsmack, Pantera, Queens of the Stone Age, and many, many more bands will be playing the music festival, 5 different stages. Also in the mix are artists like Weezer, Limp Bizkit, Megadeth, look at Megadeth, Turnstile, Rancid, Falling in Reverse, 311, Run the Jewels, Corey Taylor from Slipknot, Coheed and Cambria, and Bad Omens, and many, many more bands. Louder Than Life will go down from September 21st through September 24th, 2023 at the Kentucky Exposition Center Highlands Festival Grounds in Louisville, Kentucky. Tickets are actually on sale now, and you could find more information over there. Okay, so let's look at the 4 days of bands, and I'll go over the bands that I know, and then we'll go over bands that I want to see. So for the Thursday, September 1st, there's bands like Foo Fighters, Weezer, Rancid, 311, Coheed and Cambria, Royal Blood, Code Orange, L7. Who else? Who else? The Bronx. I've heard of the Bronx before. I believe I heard of Beauty School Dropout. I think I've heard of Beauty School Dropout. So that's all I know from the first day. For Friday, September 22nd, I know Tool, Godsmack, Limp Bizkit, Megadeth, Corey Taylor, Bad Omens. I believe I've heard of Fever 333. I've heard of them a few times. Kitty, Dead Poet Society. Who else? Who else? Who else? I believe that's all I know for that day. And then for September 23rd, Saturday, there's Avenged Sevenfold, Pantera. I haven't heard of Falling in Reverse. I may have heard of Pierce the Veil. I believe I've heard of them. Pierce the Veil. Axon Alexandria. I've heard of them. Deathlock. I believe that's like Adult Swim. Is that Adult Swim? Deathlock. Is that who that is? The Hue. I think I've heard of the Hue. Sleep Token. I may have just heard of Sleep Token. I think Corey Taylor was talking about that band Sleep Token. They seem pretty dope. Who else? Whitechapel. I've heard of. I think that's it for that day. And then on Sunday, September 24th, there's Green Day, Queens of the Stone Age. I just heard of Turnstile. I've seen their name everywhere. I just heard a few songs from Turnstile. I like what they're doing. I'm glad to see that they're super popping. Run the Jewels, Flogging Molly, the Interpreters. Is that AWAR Nation? I may have heard of them. Rival Sons. I think I've heard of Billy Talent before. Mayday Parade, Senses Fail. Who else? Who else have I heard of? But that's about it as far as the bands that I've heard of. Now we can go over bands that I would actually want to see. I would want to see Foo Fighters. I gotta be honest, I'm not the biggest Weezer fan, so I don't know if I would stay for that. But if it was as far as the headliners, I have seen Rancid before. I saw Rancid in New York City at CBGB's. That was an insane performance. So I'm a huge fan of Rancid. I would stay for their entire performance. I would catch more than a few songs from Foo Fighters. I like with the Foo Fighters. I have to catch Amber from 311. That's like my favorite song. Put some stuff in the air when that song is playing. Coheed and Cambria, maybe 1 or 2 songs. The rest of the bands I'd probably have to look up. I may have heard of L7 before, and Royal Blood, and Code Orange. And I've heard of the Bronx before. I think I may have seen the Bronx at a Warped Tour or something like that. But yeah, the rest of the bands I would have to look up. But this Thursday isn't, popping like that. Besides Rancid and the Foo Fighters, I wouldn't be too excited. Now, the next day, I'm clearly, for Friday, September 22nd, I'm staying for the entire set of Tool. I don't care who else is playing. If I can catch a few songs from Limp Bizkit, that would be cool. If I can catch that one song from Godsmack, that would be cool enough. Megadeth, I'm going to have to be honest, I'm going to skip whatever Megadeth is doing. I want to see what Corey Taylor is doing. I know he just put out a new album. He's going to release a new album. So I would definitely want to catch what Corey Taylor is doing. I want to see the whole set from Bad Omens. I believe Corey Taylor was talking about Bad Omens. Sleep Token. I can't remember the other band. I know I believe he was talking about those two bands. So I definitely want to catch a lot of songs from Bad Omens. Fever 333. I've seen them. I've heard them a bunch of times. Kitty, maybe a few songs from Kitty, but the rest of the bands I'd have to look up and the rest of the bands, decide if I want to go there. And then Saturday, September 23rd, man, Avenged Sevenfold and Pantera. Whew, that's pretty good. I would definitely want to catch the majority of this set from Pantera. I don't know if I'm going to catch the entire set from Pantera. I want to catch a few songs from Avenged Sevenfold. But besides those two artists, on that day, I gotta be honest, like I said, I've heard of Sleep Token before and Deathlock and The Hue, but everybody else, I have never heard of them at all. I may have heard of Whitechapel before, but I'd have to look up all of the rest of the bands on this Saturday date to see which bands I would want to go see. And then for the final day, Sunday, the 24th, I'm not the biggest Queens of the Stone Age fan. They have some really good songs. I'm not going to even lie. There's like 3 or 4 songs I definitely want to catch from Queens of the Stone Age. But I would have to, I'm not going to stay too long for that. Green Day, I wouldn't mind catching the entire set from Green Day. Turnstile, they're really popping recently. So I would probably want to catch the beginning of their set and then, try to catch a lot of Wonder Jewels. I believe I've seen Flogging Molly before. I thought I saw Flogging Molly with Stiff Little Fingers and the Dropkick Murphys or something like that. It's like old school stuff, but I may have seen Flogging Molly with like Stiff Little Fingers and the Dropkick Murphys before, so that would be cool. Maybe a few songs from Rival Talent, a few songs from Mayday Parade, a few songs from Billy Talent. But overall, I'll be honest, I would go to this music festival. There's a lot of artists that I don't know. So it's always good to, I would be able to find out a new, some new artists before I would go. I would check out, every artist on the bill before I would go. So I would, if there was one band I really want to see on this, it would have to be Tool. Like, if I can't say Tool are my favorite band on this list. My favorite band on this list are Rancid, because I'm an old school punk rock kid. But and I've already seen Rancid, but if there was one band I really, 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 really want to see, it's Tool. Like, if Tool wasn't here, it would be a little bit harder for me to be crazy excited for this. Pantera, that would be cool. But I'm to say the least, I really, really respect what Tool does. I love their music. So many great albums. That 10,000 Days record is insane. I love that record. I'm a huge fan of Tool, a huge fan of Rancid, and a huge fan of Green Day. I ride with Green Day, like I said, old school punk rock. So I would attend this music festival in Kentucky, right? Louisville, Kentucky, September 21st through September 24th, 2023. Let me know your opinion of this music festival. Would you want to go? Which bands do you want to see? Which bands do you not know that you want to see? And which bands would you be looking up just to go and find out? And if you don't want to go, why would you not want to go? What's wrong with these bands? But I'm Jason. The world is yours. Today we're taking a look at the Louder Than Life Music Festival 2023 lineup. Artists like Foo Fighters, Rancid, Tool, Limp Bizkit, Pantera, Avenged Sevenfold, Green Day, Queens of the Stone Age, Turnstile, and much, much more. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the $1 donation button, and please tune in to the next video on this channel. Thanks a million for watching.